My name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio and my Christmas in July series. I do want to tell you, if you checked back on Monday, I did not have a video. I do have a Monday video ready to post, but my Monday video was, if you followed me for very long, you know that once a week, unless there's something, like a pandemic, I get together with my girlfriends and we do a Facebook Live. So I did that yesterday, and we had really cute, well, theirs were cuter than mine, I will admit, because I was in the middle of my Christmas in July, so my project will be my project for tomorrow, and it will be tweaked a little bit, but we focused on the cup carriers. So that was my video, and I had it downloaded and got home, and we had huge thunderstorms, especially on the west side of Indianapolis, and we lost power until about 9 o'clock last night. So I couldn't get the video uploaded. So I do have it. I'm going to go ahead and do this one as today's video, and so you're going to get a bonus day. So I do have, the project will be tweaked tomorrow, so then you'll want to check back on Thursday, and I will repost the Facebook Live on YouTube, so you can see that, because you'll want to see their cup carriers and what they did with those, and a little bit of how we used them there. So I apologize that yesterday's video didn't get up, but once it was 9 o'clock and I still had to edit and do the thumbnail and all of the posting and the blog post, and that just wasn't happening, because I can't, well, that wasn't past my bedtime, but I would have been way up past my bedtime. So the project I have today actually wasn't even on my slate. So I got up this morning, and this will start next Tuesday. So on Tuesday, on Catalog Kickoff Day, I feel like I just had a Catalog Kickoff Day, I will have some videos, I will be live, I have my classes ready. Those will go out in my email this week, the classes that go with that. So you'll be able to see them, but on Tuesday I'll explain them. So if you have questions and stuff, you can get on YouTube or Facebook while I'm live and ask questions about them. But the card I'm going to do for you today, so let's look back on a couple of the cards that I've done. We'll start with this one. This one is posted. One of them is missing. I can't find it, but it's around here somewhere. It's the bow card. But this one's up. And then these kind of go together, and then this one is up. So those two are up, and then I had posted this one, and everybody liked this saying, the Christmas begins with Christ. So after I did this card, which this is super pretty, I did this card, and this one was kind of things that were laying around on my desk, and I used the Plaid Tidings paper, and then I took the word wishes, which a lot of you have, because those have been around now for a couple of years. So the word wishes dies, and I just didn't stamp the Christmas. So I'm going to do that again today. And then I wanted to do a little bit more fun version with the same tree, because the tree has been a little bit overlooked, because it's one of those dies, I've called it my sleeper favorite for this catalog. But when you see it in print, you don't really notice it. So it's really pretty. This time it's on velvet paper, and it uses the Plaid Tidings paper. So I've had several of you tell me that you want to do one of these versions of, like a version of this card. So that's great. And then this morning I get up and they give us a little warning of what they think might sell out early on in the catalog, as in like the first day of the catalog. And the Plaid Tidings paper, which is on both of those cards, is on that list. So I don't want any of you to be disappointed. So I'm going to give you plenty of heads up that if you're thinking about getting this pack of paper to do anything with, that you might want to place your order the very first day. Otherwise, you might have to wait, until they get their next shipment in. And sometimes that can be, a while during COVID, because everything takes forever. So I'm going to use this again just to draw your attention to it. But this time I'm also going to show you what goes with it, because I haven't used what goes with it. So it's called Plaid Tidings. I have not used the set at all. Celebration Tidings. And part of the reason I haven't used it is because it has a really cute little pumpkin thing. I've been focused on Christmas. So it does have a Merry Christmas. I did use the Just For You at Camp. So my camp girls have actually used this already. They got a little preview of it. Has some fun little Thanksgiving kind of things. So I had kind of pulled it aside while I was on Christmas, because I thought, well, this will be a great Thanksgiving one. And then the dies that go with it are called Celebration Label dies. So I'm going to use those today. I've pulled out the ones I'm going to use, and I haven't pulled the sticky off, which was kind of a mistake. So here's the ones, and it's actually designed, you can see right here, And you can see this one's giant. It's even larger than a card, but they're designed if you want to make little gift bags as well, that you can fold them over and they go perfectly over little gift bags. So it has these fun little things here. And if you look back on my videos, I did use it on my very first gnome card that I made. That was not a Christmas card when I unchristmased the gnomes. So I did use those. So I'm going to use these today so you can kind of see the whole suite. And then one of the ribbons that might go on back order, I haven't even used yet, so I wanted you to see it just so you could see it. I will tell you, if you are doing my Try It class, which the registration for that is coming up fast and furious and will end soon, August 2nd, you will get the ribbon and you will get the paper because I do have plenty of it. I get my daughter to help order because, you know, she doesn't need tons of it, and then I just replace it later if it goes on back order. So you will get paper, you will get a card. I don't know which piece we'll use. And we may even do, more than likely we'll do a card with this tree because everybody's loved the tree and because I love the tree. So for this card, we're going to still use the For Unto Us because you all have just loved this Christmas Begins with Christ. And I like taking this card, so we're going to get one more kind of look at how you can switch this up if you have the tree and the paper and the Christmas dies. So kind of like just give you one more thing. So this is where I'm getting this from. Everybody keeps asking, where are you getting the stamp? And it's out of this, it's just a whole bunch of words, and you'll be able to use this for Christmases to come. So my very first year with Stampin' Up, which was 25 years ago, my very first Christmas card that I would do when I would drag my stuff to people's homes, because that was the only way we could do it, I did in pink. So every year since then, I have done a pink Christmas tree. It's just my thing. Because I love 50s pink Christmas trees and I decorate with them in my home. And at that point, I think I had one tiny little one. Since then, since 25 years, I've accumulated lots of little pink Christmas trees. So we have a whole pink Christmas display of little pink trees in our home. So I always do a pink Christmas card. So for this one, I've pulled out this little pink piece here. And really, you could use either side of it. So if you wanted it to be a little more understated, you could go this way. If I'm going to go with a pink tree on this one, I'm going to go big. So I chose this side because I'm also going to use these fun sequins that are in the catalog, and you can see how well they match. So this card doesn't take very long. So let's get all of the things through the die because there's just not a whole lot of stamping on this. Our new die machine, if you are a demonstrator, we can order them next week. If you'd like to be a demonstrator, then you can order it as part of your starter kit, or you can sign up now and then order it next week. But I'll have lots of fun things going on when we get those. So here's the two celebration label dies that I'm going to use. I'm going to use a smaller one with the tree. It's going to take me a couple passes to get all this stuff through. Okay, and I want it doesn't matter because it's going to just cut that out, and you don't want your stuff to go through speed bump, because if it makes that horrible, awful clanking noise, that's not good for your dies or for your machine. So just make sure that none of these go through straight. And I'm going to send these through. This is one of those ones that if you want to get started now, then as you're watching TV, now in the summer, you can just start die cutting all of your stuff. So you can see they get this fun thing. You also have an off piece, which was what I was going to use my, this is Mambo, my Mambo piece 4. So they layer nicely and they have all those different sizes. Okay, but now I'm going to show you this super fun bit. And this is why I'm really looking forward to getting my new machine, because it does come with a magnetic plate, or you can get a magnetic plate for it. And I've never been a fan of the magnetic plate that went with this. I've never been a fan of any of the plates that went with this, except for this one. So I know that there were precision plates. I know there were other plates that went with them. I never liked any of them. I thought that they were hard on the dies, especially if you used them like at events where a lot of people would go through use my stuff. I just wasn't a fan. So I've always just used the regular adapter. But for this, it will be nice if our magnetic plate works well, because these little things go right here in the corner. There's going to be a lot going on this card, so even though I don't have the magnetic plate, if they're not perfect, it's not going to be a big deal, because you'll see what I mean. There's a lot. So those little things just go in the corners, and they'll go in the corners of all of the sizes. Just be careful when you lay it down, because they're static in your houses right now. This is also a fun card. When I first started with Stampin' Up, we had literally just moved back to the United States from Australia. So, you know, Christmas in Australia is in the summer. So that was another reason I was doing the pink cards, because everything looked, I was still kind of, well, I'd lived there for a long time at that point. The older you get, the bulk of years become fewer and fewer, but you can see how cute those are. Those just add those little things. And they're not placed perfectly because that one kind of moved, but by the time I get it all on here, you're not going to notice. So that was another reason I had done the pink trees. I'd lived there for a lot of years, which, you know, when you're 30, a lot of years is a bulk of your life. When you're not 30 anymore, I've been with Stampin' Up! Almost as long as I've been alive at that point. In the back of the catalog, back with all the die cutting stuff, you just want to cut it about the same size as your, I'm using gold foil for this, and then you just pull the back off. One side is sticky and one side is not, so that side's trash. And then you just stick this on here, and it's going to make our, and I never get it on straight when I'm on camera because it's an angle, so just cut that bit off because you don't want to send that through your machine because that will stick to your plate forever, and you don't want that to happen. But now this has sticker paper on the back, so it's going to allow me to just really quickly stick that Christmas on my thing and not worry about how I'm going to adhere those tiny little things. So let's get this tree that y'all are in love with, and it's from the Pine Woods dies or the In the Pines bundle, and that is one of my online classes that's coming up next month. I have classes ready to post through, I don't even know what month it is, August and September, and one that goes through November. So it starts in September and it goes through November. So again, if you had the magnetic plate, this one might not move, but it doesn't move too bad. The other one doesn't matter where it's placed. And again, always just go one time through with your dies, because every time you go through, it's one more cut. If you've seen my other two videos with this, I've worried about keeping the dot for my eye. I'm not worried about it on this one, because again, there's a lot going on this card, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to take those off. I'm going to grab these two, and they only fit one at a time. Send them through the texture plate. I'm using a different one. On my first one, I used the Settle. So it'll just give us a different look. Because really, I'm just getting a little bit of texture on this. Use whatever you have. Don't feel like you have to get something new. But I wanted it to have a little bit of something. The other thing it helps is if you are doing a lot of these, it often knocks those out. Those all came out fine. Always send these through with your crease first. The new machine will have recipes on it, so if you're forever forgetting what order stuff goes in or what you need for what, it will help you. So now that's got a little bit of texture. This had, the one I used before, the Subtle, was just a little bit subtle, and after I did it, I thought, oh, I think I want a little bit more, because now I'm used to this one. The Subtle had been my favorite. Now we just have to stick all this together. So once you do all the cutting, so this would be a fun card to do, and the nice thing about this pack is that you could just cut, like go through your pieces that you're going to use and find some common colors, like do all white and vanillas of these and do a bunch of colors of these, and you could do them all on scrap pieces that fit. Okay, grab my seal. This doesn't need the Seal Plus, and see, you could easily go with this. The Mambo's a little bright. You'd want a different one of the reds. I'm going to mount it just off. And these are all cut 2 inches because the paper's 6 by 6. So that way you would be able to get 3 per card. And I moved it over a squish because the card's 4 1/4. So now if I put these little notches here, it's in the center. So I'm going to take my dimensionals and put 4 on the back of my tree. Oops. That's 3 at once. And I also will tell you, if you're still listening to me, that I had the special this month that if you spent $150, you got a free mini trimmer. So on the weekend, I thought I was out, and I think I have 2 left because I have the room where I stamp and the room where I ship at my house are 2 different rooms. The room where I ship is actually my husband's in-home office because that's where our printer is. So I found two that had gotten buried under paper. So I will tell people on my email list that I have them, but if you're still listening and you want to place a $150 order, then you get those for free. But I would suggest that you email me first and say, I'm getting ready to place my order. Do you still have them? And then I will tell you if I do. Now here's the ribbon, and I have pre-cut it because I didn't want to waste any. It's the Snowflake Splendor ribbon since we're using it in my class. Look how pretty it is with this purple and the pink. Super, super pretty. It goes with the Snowflake bundle that's in the holiday catalog, which I have not shown you at all. So, but I didn't want to use too much since it is one of the things that they think they might run out of. So I'm just going to tie. Had they not told me that, I might have tied a whopping huge ginormous bow, and then I would have had to be careful when I used it on my class. But you really just need a hint of it. It gives just a little bit of sparkle of snow. Look how pretty that is, all the colors together. So let's stick this down. Now I'm gonna not stick any adhesive right there at the bottom because I want to be able to slide my saying up underneath it. So just use these two notches and kind of line those up. And then I'm gonna get my same stamp that I've been using. So this would help you like if you're kind of just doing a whole bunch, but you want them to look the same but different. And then I just have a little scrap piece of white. I'm going to get my Gorgeous Grape, which is the color of my cardstock marker. Just so again, I can just do the Begins with Christ and not the whole stamp. And then there's plenty of words on the inside of this stamp set. One just says Merry Christmas, but there's some other ones that are like full words that you could use on the inside of your card. So I'm gonna stamp that. You cannot do that with blends. I have people ask all the time. Blends don't aren't a stamping ink. So then I'm just going to trim this. So here's the little paper trimmer that you can get for free, and I just have 2 of them left. So the next 2 people, and then the offer will end in July. I had said that it would go all through July, but I didn't know that Stampin' Up! Would run out of them. And they have run out. So it was only by what I had. And then I thought that it was all the way out. And you know, that's what happens when you have stacks of stuff. We call them pileys. So I had a pile of labels in by the printer, and the labels from when I chipped all the other ones are in there. So I'm just trimming this just so it's just big enough, because I want it to be noticeable, but I don't want a giant white piece on here. So now just put some adhesive on here. And then because I didn't stick any under here, I can lift this up. And just kind of decide where you want it to go. Mine's going to go there because it touched. Go back to our Christmas. I like to leave things in here until I need them. And the sticker's already pulling off, so the sticker is here. So now when I take it out, it will be sticky. And I don't care about keeping the dot to my eye. If you care, then you might want to just make sure that it doesn't fall out. Mine's still in there. Often when you use the adhesive, it stays pretty well. My daughter was a college golfer. This color scheme kind of reminds me of some ladies' golf outfits. So if you're making some women's golf cards, there's a whole lot of papers in here that will help you. So now we've got that. So now we're almost done. The only thing we want to do is go back and add some ornaments to our tree. So you can see these are new. They don't have holes in them, and they are in the holiday catalog. So I've got my fine tip glue. I guess I do need that. I'm just going to put the dot of glue on where I want them, and it just takes a tiny little dot. In fact, when I was doing these, I didn't like a couple of the placements where I had them after I got them on there, and I thought, because the colors were kind of close together, I thought, oh, I'm gonna move these. There was no moving them. They'd already dried. By the time I got the last one on, the first ones had dried. So just little dots. You don't want too many of them. You don't want to cover up the beautiful tree. And then take your pick tool with the gooby end. And you can buy replacements for these. I really need it. And then I'm not going to use the green. So I want a gold star on top. So they're kind of mixed. This one's a metallic pack. So let's put a gold star up there. And then all the other colors really match the paper nicely. So here's a little yellow, orange bauble. Come on. So what happens when you pull a really fresh piece of the stuff off. It's super sticky. We have a gold one that's fallen into here. And then let's get some reds. The reds are my favorite because they really pull that red out of the paper. And there's some pinks in with the red. There's some see-throughs with the red. That's what happened before when I got two that were really close together that were the same color, because one just kind of fell on the glue. You can see there's different shapes. Another one of these orange ones up here. Well, I can still control where it's going. A piece of glue. There's silver and gold in this metallics pack, so let's get a silver one. And there's also some white ones in it. I don't think I picked up a white one. No, I did. They're kind of mirror white. There's some yellow. And then just make sure you got all your glue, because you don't want a little gubby of glue. And that's all there is to it. So if you were making these, I would have all of your cards done and then maybe set like 4 out and put all your little ornaments on after you've finished everything. So there's a totally different look than what we had with the other ones. So you can get the 1 pack of paper and those dies. And then for the frame of your tree, like this one, I didn't use a die, so you don't have to, that's just cut square. This is a die I just had laying on the table. These are new dies that go with the paper, so if you're getting the whole bundle. But a lot of you will already have, you know, some kind of die that the tree will fit in. It's not large, so it's not a humongous die. It doesn't, here, let me measure it for you. It is about 3.5 inches. By a little over 2. So you don't need a giant die to make those frames. So I know a lot of you that have a lot of stuff already, if you don't want to buy a new thing, but if you're trying to justify it to yourself that you need a new one, that's about how big you would need for it. So that's my video for today. Like I said, I will post, I have the cup carrier and it's a little pop-up card that goes, I'm not doing the carrier, I'm doing a cup and a pop-up card that matches the cup. And then on Thursday, I will post my girlfriend's. If you want to see that, you can go to my Facebook page. It's already there because we did it live on Facebook, but it will go on YouTube. And then I will, I'm going to be posting my boho class. For those of you that have signed up for the boho class, those cards will go up and that's a private link. So unless you're in the class, you won't be seeing those. So that's the next video that I'm working on after I get my cups done. And then it'll be new catalog time. So we are having end of summer birthday parties where I take my nephews, who you saw in my little coming home video. Friday is, well, you know, start of school keeps getting pushed, and they're boys, so it's not like they care. But we are going to the zoo on Friday. So I'm not sure, this may be it after this little chunk of Christmas things for my videos for the week. So you got this and you got one tomorrow, and then my Facebook Live if you didn't already catch that. And then next week will be new catalog, but you'll want to be on my email list so you can find out all about the classes that I have coming, and make sure if you want to sign up for my Try It class, you will love it. I promise. Have a great day. Bye.